Hi, my name is Leonid Etkin, and today I will be reviewing the Franklin Sensors stud finder. It's the ProSensor 710 stud finder. So let's see how this boop 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 beep, 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 beep. Oh, it seems to work. But seriously, I have a very weak grasp of what a stud finder even does. Never used one before. Hopefully this will be a refreshing experience for me. So of course the first step would be to take this sensor out of its packaging. So let's go ahead and do that now. Easier than I expected, which is already a good thing. Felicitaciones por haber seleccionado el sensor de vigas más avanzado. I have a feeling this is not English. Congratulations on selecting the most advanced wall sensor. Precisely senses the surfaces, then instantly identifies the locations of hidden. It is the easiest to use, fastest, and most accurate stud finder on the market. Save these instructions. Warning. It is possible that there may be wood, metal, wiring, or other objects behind surfaces that are not detected. It is also possible that the stud finder may detect pipes, wires, or other objects that the user may not. Oh, and here's some drone footage. The user may not want it to detect. The stud finder is designated. So after wrangling for a while with this motherfucker, I was able to figure out where the batteries go. You see the little arrow? Just snap. And so naturally what I'm gonna do is borrow a couple of batteries from a remote control. Stick those batteries in the stud finder. Snap it back into place. And now presumably we have what I'll do is I'll borrow batteries from a second remote, but these are AAA's of course. And of course, as always, I have a couple of D or C cells just lying around unused. So what you're gonna do now is, having found a device that has a working set of batteries in it, you will double A's. You will use your nails to edge them out and snap the device. Open the thing. Nail out the old unworking batteries. Don't forget to throw them away. Stick in the working set of batteries. And having failed to use the stud finder today, I will now go over quite a different topic for now. It has to do with me being found guilty just a couple days ago, just yesterday, of a Class B misdemeanor, including a violation, just for climbing an abandoned antenna. This will give me a permanent criminal record, and this will interfere quite severely with my future ability to acquire any sort of work. This will interfere with my future ability to find employment, to gain useful employment, and I believe it's just digging me into a deeper trench. After having to go through the humiliating process of going through trial and discussing my personal health matters, my personal mental health, I was slapped with a permanent criminal record, which will severely restrict my. And also have to add that initially the prosecution, the so-called people, were trying to pack me away to prison for 90 days, which eventually they cut down to 30 days, but up to the very last minute, the people, the prosecution. And I really hate to take myself seriously. I try not to take life too seriously. I hate to go from attempting to be funny to preachy. In other words, I hate to pull a Stephen Colbert on you, a Stephen Colbert maneuver. But again, this is what this puts everybody at risk. Anyone for any petty misdemeanor could end up, in prison, could end up without gainful employment. And just to put it out there, it's I think it's already too late for me, and frankly, I'm getting really tired of all that shit, and maybe it could help someone else, so avoid, or maybe in the future, for future lawyers and judges, maybe soften your stand a little bit on these things. Okay? Alright. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, I did get to figure out how to use the Franklin sensor. It's actually very intuitive. You just put it against the wall, and you can actually see as you pass by the stud. So it's very intuitive. I think I would recommend it. I'm yet to actually dig up and make sure it really does work, but I think it apparently does. Here's the next one. You see? Not bad. Okay, and here's another very quick demonstration. Let's imagine that this is our stud here for a minute. Metal stud. See? There it goes. Here's another demonstration through a pretty compact object. Here we go. There it is. And here's something cool. Even with this piece of cardboard through this object, it still kind of works. Not exactly, but kind of. Here we go. See? It still kind of works. Not perfect, but of course the materials are very similar at this point. And now it's just detecting the metal clip. Very, very cool. Very cool stuff. Okay, so, but after all is said and done, how do we know if the stud finder really works? Well, there is only one way to find out. One true way. Yep, the stud is right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right over there.